Okay, so question 12b is a histogram. Just remember, a histogram is a graph that uses the area of each of the bars to represent the frequency. So we need to know the frequency density, which it says Sarah's forgotten to write the scale down. She knows that 90 people raised £50 or less in this sponsored walk. So £50 or less, 50, this is our money raised, the x-axis, £50 would be here. So £50 or less is represented by this bar here. And we know that that is equal to 90. She says that 90 people. So what we're essentially saying is we've got a rectangle here. This is 50. The area is 90. We want to know the frequency density, which is this one. So we essentially want to know the height. So you can think of it that way, or you can just remember that the frequency density is equal to the frequency divided by the width of the group. So in this case, the frequency is 90, because 90 people, and the width is 50, because we're going from 0 to 50. So our frequency density is frequency, which is 90, divided by the width, which is 50, and if you work that out, you get 1.8. So our frequency density is 1.8. So that tells us then, along our y-axis, that this is 1.8. This is then going to allow us to work out the scale going up the y-axis. So, if I know that this is 1.8, I'm probably not going up in 0.1, because that would be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, not going to be anywhere near enough. 0.2 seems a bit more realistic, so 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, getting to 1 here. Then we've got 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, so we know that's definitely right. So what we need to work out then, we need to know the frequency densities for each of the other bars. We need to add those to our scale going along our y-axis. So, if we look at this one then, here, that's 1.8. We're going to have 2, 2.2, 2.4, 2.6. So just add these to the side of your graph. This one, if that's 1.8, this one's going to be 1.6. This one, if that's 1, that's just going to be 1. And this one will be 0.4. So I've just added my frequency densities to the side. So, going back to what I said about the frequency being given by the area of the bars, we now want to calculate an estimate for the total money raised. What that means is the combined areas of all 5 of these graphs. So that is what we're going to look at doing. So, the first one we always know the area of because it's 90, we've been told that. For the area of the bars, we're obviously looking at the width times the height. So that's going to be the width of the interval times by the frequency density, and I'm just going to add all 5 together. So we've got 90 for the first one, plus this one, again, the gap's going to be 50 times by the frequency density, which is 2.6. So 50 times 2.6. Plus, for the third one, we've now got a gap of 100 times by the frequency density of 1.6. So 100 times 1.6. Plus, for the fourth one, we've got a gap again of 100 times by the frequency density, which is 1. And then the final one, we've now got a width of 200, because it goes from 300 to 500, and the frequency density is 0.4. So 200 times 0.4. So typing that into your calculator really carefully, you should get an answer of £560.